So here we are on turn 4 of Landskrona. I've pushed through a little bit just to... We've got the Danish left flank still in charge orders, moving very slowly forward because they really don't want to actually engage. The Swedish right facing them managed to drop into receive charge orders and is forming itself up. That happened before the Danes could actually try to hit. The Danes really don't want to be in charge order here, but they can't get out of it easily. Towards the center, we have the infantry, the Swedish infantry, beginning to take a position. It's an exposed position. They're going to set up their guns. They actually have one set here. They took some fire, but no real hindrance otherwise from the Danish center. The presumption was that the Danish right was going to handle it. Unfortunately, the Swedish left started cresting the hill. A couple of units that were stationed to defend the Danes from the Swedes. And the Swedes are only in make ready. They're not actually pursuing. They're in the midst of their turn right now. One of their units got intercepted. It ended up destroying the Danish unit. And then after the advance, it faced another Danish unit which attacked it. Again, the Danes are attacking at like +1 here, which it's not great in this game, but plus is better than minus, and being on the attacking side of +1 is better than being the defender. But they got driven off as well, and things were looking a lot stronger for the Swedish advance there. With 10-sided dice and a table like this, the results are very random. Alright, I'm going to continue with the Swedes and see if they can get any continuation there. Well, I might as well just roll it in front. Yes, they did. So that Swedish continuation involved them dropping back into receive charge formation so that they could dress their lines again. The Danes responded by moving into make ready. That positions them better for some sort of assault against the Swedish infantry here, but it's really leaving them at risk against the... it is an infantry wing, but it's largely cav advancing on their right. I don't feel at all comfortable with the Danish position at this point. They're prepared to receive this. They're very happy if that moves, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think the big attack's going to come from the left flank, which is historically actually where the Danes did well. And the Swedes did well on this side. As usual, I tend to mess things up. Okay, so here we are at the end of 4 turns, and something's got to break soon. Still got the Swedes dressing their line, getting their cannons prepared. Danes haven't taken advantage yet. Stuck back in receive charge back here on that right flank and kind of pulling back a little bit, giving ground to the Swedish left flank continuously, which is advancing slowly. But I'm looking at this, and yes, the Danish left is not in condition to really make an assault at this point. Crashing down that hill is going to cause some problems. But it looks tempting. It definitely looks tempting. Especially if this is going to collapse. One wants to kind of balance in that kind of situation. But if this isn't going to collapse, if this is going to be able to fall back and form a nice defensive line, and frankly, the Danes don't need to kill anything. It's the Swedes who have to attack. So, I'm not sure it's worth it. Anyway, I gotta flip some counters and stuff like that. Now it's noon, and this battle simply will not get started. Like I said, the Danes don't really want to fight. The victory conditions, and this bugs me about victory conditions that are scaled this way. The victory conditions put them on the defensive. I'm not sure they really are, but they're pulling this wing back slowly. They can't get much further back here without exposing themselves to charges. So they want to stand, but they're trying to return to something like where they were originally. And the Swedes can't get out of receive charge. They're just moving slowly forward, rallying where they, forming up where they have to, because they're climbing a hill or going across a wall or something like that. And the center, neither side wants to attack. This is where I would attack with the Danes. I would actually be striking on both flanks, try to crush that center. I'd kind of have liked to, but the opportunity just, it's mainly passed by this point. I no longer have that outflank. This wing in place has largely made it a bad choice. Now, this kind of refuse down here, that made it hard anyway, with the woods back there, the gully and everything. Charging through that seemed painful. Likewise, charging over here, although the terrain's a little better, would have been kind of painful. The safest thing seemed to be to just keep pulling back. And the battle just won't start. It's something that happens in games with orders. Here, I can't get the order I want to go forward. And, I could move Charles over and try to improve that chance, but he's got things he can do. On the other hand, historically there were kind of weird standoff situations like this that lasted a long time. This battle isn't one of them, and most games that have such usually build it into the scenario start time or whatever, so that it actually starts when the battle starts. But it's kind of cool to watch it happening. Usually, I'm only used to this happening in the Civil War Brigade series or the Napoleonic Brigade series, where you're waiting for someone to take orders. Here, and in the Great Battles of History, which is very similar, usually you can get things moving when you want to. Of course, it's a very hot day, and, it's unpleasant to march and fight and stuff in the heat. So towards the end of this turn, some trouble started. Over on the main line, there's some trading of shots. There might be a formation hit or something. Christians wandered all the way down the line to go try to rally a unit that's over in Make Ready. But over here, the Danish right wing continued its withdrawal. They had a cav unit stuck back here that they started pulling back. That got charged. Got charged and got hit hard. It's gone. It's over in the dead pile. But the Swedish cav ended up behind the infantry that was here. The infantry had to make a morale check. It's in Hedgehog now. Things are looking a lot more interesting for the Swedish attack. This is looking like a broken line right now. We have this cav, but we have a couple infantry facing in the wrong direction. What the hell's with that? Okay, they had a chance to turn around. Yeah, I just didn't get that far. They had withdrawn and pulled back, and anyway, the infantry there, being in Hedgehog, means that it's going to be very vulnerable to firepower from the other infantry. It's a cav kind of out of position in a weird place. This looks weak. I think the current disorder on that wing makes up for whatever terrain advantage they have. And we're going to probably see the Swedes do a lot of damage there, if they can get out of receive charge. Well, that was the Swedish attack, and it was very exciting, actually. We're going to be going to turn 7, and I've got things to flip. I think everything else is done, right? Yeah. Okay. So, the Swedes got themselves into charge and started moving forward, engaging the Hedgehog. All exciting, whatever. They got one advancing fire, and that's it. Basically had no effect on it. But you can see there's a lot missing now. Swedish cav starting to move forward. Got intercepted by Danish cav. Actually, the Danes did quite a good job. They knocked out one Swedish cav unit, sent another one flying, but eventually this is the unit that did a lot of the damage. They got driven back by another cav unit during the actual melee phase. Another melee happened behind the hedgehog, the guys who forced them into hedgehog. This was at even odds. The Swedes won handily, ended up chasing the destroyed Danish unit. Now you can see there's a lot of Swedish cav dead now. Chasing the destroyed Danish unit and finishing it off here in front of 2 heavy infantry with artillery. That cav unit melted. I mean, the 2 dice from that ended up adding up to, let's see, 3 regular hits, 2 formation hits. It was already formation broken. 5 hits. This cav unit had like 3 guys on it. It just disappeared. So that was kind of cool to watch. But that's the end of the turn. And we're definitely seeing this Danish flank. Not a complete pushover, but it is not in good shape. It seems to be being pushed around fairly heavily. So the Swedish wing under charge orders got a couple more activations at the beginning of turn 7. They cleared that hedgehog out of the way with firepower. Again, it melted. Here they've got a slight advantage because they're downhill. Firing's easier downhill, this was a lower morale unit. They're not attacking up. The low morale unit doesn't want to attack down. The Danish cav was unable to be particularly effective here. Those levies chased the remains of the one effective cav, the one that had done so much, away here. Otherwise, what we're seeing back here is all Swedes. This is the only Danish unit back there. And it's looking pretty bad. The Danes have got to pull this flank back or they're in a lot of trouble. Although, that Swedish wing, it's not shot, but it can't press on much longer. Basically, the terrain causes units to just fall apart during combat. Alright. So that's the end of 7, and it's pretty much the situation that we saw before. Swedish wing in place here, kind of battered, needs to pull out of that charge to recuperate. The Danes, however, largely pushed back. We got the routing unit back here. They don't have a lot of strength there. This is the kind of situation that tempts me. I want to make the attack here. I want to make it because I'm losing over here, and I think, well, I gotta get my luck or my whatever somewhere. I don't think that's for the best. I think, if anything, that's going to increase Danish casualties. That's why I'm trying to refrain, but a lot of battles, this one included, had these kind of swings where one side did well and the other side lost of the line, you know, it was completely asymmetrical. But I don't feel like the Danes want to engage in bloodshed here. They want to get disengaged. They want to get out of here. They've got fairly good trade-off right now. But if this flank starts getting rolled up, they're going to pay the price for that. Alright, I'm going to wrap this one up and send it to you.